Leon Edwards vs. Nate Diaz. The fight is Saturday at UFC 263 at the Gila River Arena. Edwards enters this fight with a record of 18-3 and has won 50% of his fights by decision. Diaz enters this fight with a 20-12 record and has won 55% of his fights by submission. Edwards has won 8 of his last 9 fights and is coming off a March no contest against Belal Muhammad. He is averaging 2.56 significant strikes per minute with an accuracy percentage of 47. Edwards is averaging 1.35 takedowns with an accuracy percentage of 30%. He's coming off a no contest at UFC Vegas 21, a fight where he landed 20 strikes and 48% of his significant strikes. Edwards poked his opponent in the eye in the second round, and the fight was stopped. This will be Edwards' second fight since July 2019. Edwards entered the UFC as a known powerful striker, but it's his heavy wrestling approach that helped him take things to the next level. Edwards is a highly effective fighter in the clinch and has good use of knees and elbows as well. He is a crafty southpaw who can be tricky for his opponents when standing up, and he has never been finished in his career. A purple belt in BJJ, Edwards takes a step forward in his career with a victory here. This will be Edwards' first career fight in Arizona. Diaz has split his last 10 fights and is coming off a November 2019 loss to Jorge Masvidal. He is averaging 4.62 significant strikes per minute with an accuracy percentage of 45%. Diaz is averaging 1.19 takedowns with an accuracy percentage of 30%. Diaz is coming off a knockout loss at UFC 244, where he landed 125 total strikes, but he ate 114. The doctor stopped the fight in the third round due to a cut above Diaz's eye, and it was Diaz's second career knockout loss, and he hopes to avoid back-to-back losses for the first time since 2012. It's no secret what you get with Diaz, as his cardio is at an elite level. He is arguably the toughest fighter in the sport. Even at 36 years old, Diaz can still take a clean shot and keep coming forward. He doesn't back down from anybody and still thinks he's one of the best in the sport. Diaz usually gets stronger as the fight goes on, and that's when his work rate usually increases and the bombs start flying. Diaz is also a second-degree black belt in BJJ and has won 4 fights via the guillotine choke. However, Diaz hasn't fought in a year and a half and had a 3-year layoff after the McGregor fight in 2016. Eventually, the long layoffs have played a role. This will be Diaz's second career fight in Arizona. Leon Edwards is faster, stronger, and hits harder, which brings me to my prediction, a 4th round TKO. Israel Adysanya vs. Marvin Vettori. Sit back, relax, and subscribe. Of all the Israel Adysanya middleweights foes in the UFC, Marvin Vettori came the closest to handing him a loss. What does Vettori need to do differently this time if he wants to edge out Adysanya? At the very moment that UFC announcer Bruce Buffer announced that split decision for Adysanya, the disappointment in Vettori's reaction made it apparent that these two extremely gifted middleweights would eventually face each other down the line. Now that time has come. Vettori is the definition of tenacious, aggressive, and frightening title challenger who truly looks to punish his opponent. He has rattled off 5 straight victories against a group of average talents, while making it look easier every time he steps foot in the octagon. Has Vettori truly been tested in his effort to earn this title shot? Certainly not. But nevertheless, the Italian has fought his way into the rematch he has so long desired. The stakes are much higher this time around, though. It's no secret what the powerful and imposing title challenger will plan to do on June 12th. His game plan will include constant forward pressure, tiring clinch exchanges, and the pursuit of well-timed takedowns to bring Adysanya into a world where Vettori's suburb grappling pedigree and negate Adysanya's slick stand-up offense. Vettori will hold a distinct power advantage in regards to being able to control position and body movement. The Italian's intimidating frame and unquestionable gas tank makes him a nightmare to handle once he is in a secure top position. He will maliciously search for an opening in Adysanya's defense and try to secure a submission win. There was more for Adysanya to accomplish at middleweight before being prematurely elevated into a super fight with Jan Blachowicz. Despite finding success early in the fight, though, the use of his superior speed and counter-offense, Adysanya ultimately fell victim to the control and power of the light heavyweight champion. In the grand scheme of things, Adysanya has nothing to lose. He is still the king of the middleweights. Adysanya's most recent outing certainly provided his fellow middleweights with a fairly straightforward blueprint on how to defeat him. Whether or not Top Contenders is able to utilize this blueprint remains to be seen. Adysanya is still the most talented striker in the division and has the ability to finish anyone who dares to stand in front of him. The champ's game plan will be to control the distance and fire off his notorious kicks and counters in an effort to tire and frustrate the aggressive Vettori. The keys in the later round for Adysanya will be to force a separation and attack the body and legs of Vettori. This fight will be decided by one factor: Vettori's ability to take down Adysanya and keep him there. The Italian was able to showcase several moments of success in the Adysanya fight in their first bout. He will be able to do this so much more in the rematch. Adysanya certainly has the ability to land a slick counter for a TKO finish, but a composed, calculated Vettori will show vast improvements and turn a unanimous decision victory to become the first Italian UFC champion. The Flyweight Championship co-headliner is also a rematch. The first clash between Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno was a majority draw. What adjustments does each fighter need to make on Saturday night? Adjustment is the key word here. After their first fight delivered in the way it did, it would be hard to call either man to make improvements. They were so evenly matched throughout the whole fight, with each man having their moments, both in the grappling and striking realms. Figueiredo ended up landing 137 strikes and scored 2 takedowns. Moreno, on the other hand, landed 132 strikes, scoring 4 takedowns. While no official submission attempts were recorded, Moreno did have more ground control time. Despite this fact, it was Figueiredo who landed more ground strikes. That all goes to say that the fight was incredibly competitive and rightly scored a draw. Going into the first fight, the power of Figueiredo was a major concern. However, Moreno took a number of heavy shots throughout 5 rounds and was able to largely remain unfazed, and he enters the rematch knowing that he can withstand the power coming back at him. Moreno should push an even higher pace early on in this fight. He may very well take heavy punches as he does, but he would also force Figueiredo to miss, which would cause his cardio to begin to fail. By the end of this fight, there will be no doubt that Moreno more successfully implemented his game plan. He will get his hand raised as the new flyweight champion. Moreno's toughness and resilience are impossible to question after a stellar performance against the champ in December. However, let's not forget that the pair met a month after fighting on the same November card, where they were both registered dominant wins. Their clash was last-minute booking to save a struggling card that had no main event. This time around, the two best flyweights in the world will have full training camps and to truly prepare for each other's skill set. This, combined with Figueiredo's thunderous power, will be the difference. The champion will have a full 8 weeks to prepare for an opponent I believe he drastically underestimated in December. Figueiredo will go headhunting early in the bout, while remaining calculated and composed. The Brazilian will eventually land a big hook on the jaw of Moreno that sends an extremely tough challenger to the mat, but I believe Moreno will survive the onslaught and eventually pull out a decision win against Figueiredo. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and drop your predictions below. I would love to hear them.